Hey, dog moms and dads, are your adventures to die for? Tie-dye, that is. Trail Dog Co. is your one-stop shop for everything groovy and colorful. Their bandanas are hand-dyed, making each one unique, just like your pup. The resin dog tags are lightweight, colorful, and durable for everyday wear or adventures.
So if you're in need of a splash of color to your dog's wardrobe, head on over to @TrailDogCo on Instagram or traildogco.com to shop. New products released every Friday, so be sure to check them out. Tell them we sent you by using the code CYA10 at checkout. Are you on the hunt for some new stickers to jazz up your laptop or iPad? Or maybe a keychain to make your keyring a little bit more fun? Stuck On You stickers is the place to be. Ella stickers are 100% waterproof, dishwasher safe, and durable in all conditions. Both the keychains and stickers make for a great gift for any occasion: birthdays, graduation, holidays, or just because. With back to school season coming up, her stickers make for a great addition to any notebook, binder, or planner to make it a little bit more personal and very adorable.
If you love her style, we have got news for you. Her commissions are now open. DM stuck.onyou stickers on Instagram with any questions you may have. And while you're at it, follow her Instagram and TikTok at stuck.onyou stickers to keep up with her new releases. Head over to Stuck On You by Ella and use code aesthetic for 15% off of your purchase on her Etsy. Again, that is code aesthetic for 15% off at Stuck On You by Ella on Etsy. Hey guys, I'm Katie.
And I'm Alexis, and this is the Check Your Aesthetic podcast. We've been recording for a minute and 30 seconds.
We just literally lost our shit laughing. I don't know why. But in case you guys wanted to know, maybe we'll leave the whole minute in for you guys. The whole beginning of the episode is us like cracking up. People are like, what is this? We have to stop listening.
You should keep it in the YouTube one.
I might.
Yeah.
People they're like what? It's exclusive YouTube content. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hey guys. Hey. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday. Happy August 9th.
It's not August 9th. It's not August 9th for them.
For them?
For them, yes. It's not August 9th.
Yes, it is. It's August 9th for them.
It's August...
Today is the 6th. Monday is the 9th.
Honey, when is this episode going up?
Oh, happy August. Happy August 17th.
16th.
Happy August 16th.
Yes, good. This episode is just, it's...
Actually, though, for real, this episode is amazing because
we actually had such a good episode today. I am, genuinely so excited about it for you guys to listen to it. We talked to Madison. Go ahead, Katie. Intro Madison.
Madison from Keeping the Creativity. She is a virtual assistant. Her kind of niche for clients that she specializes in are creatives, judging by her username, obviously.
Yes.
But we actually found out after we finished recording, she's from Birmingham as well. And we had a lot of mutual friends, which was super crazy. She just kind of talked about what it's like to be a virtual assistant, her routines, lots of fun organizational stuff, but she was so cute, so fun, so we loved that. But yeah, so just in case you guys were wondering, before you click off because of the BS we just fed you for a minute and a half or however long.
Yes, I'm very interested to see how that intro was as a visual experience, because I'm sure it was a lot to handle.
And honestly, you guys need to stay tuned because my fire alarm goes off at the end of this episode. So
I love how nothing
don't click off now.
I love how nothing can ever just go smoothly with something with us.
Ever.
It just something always, at least it keeps it interesting, honestly.
My mom's calling me now.
Good.
Jeez. Something that I would like to, I have to decline this call. Something that I would like to share and give no further details on is that we have an exciting announcement. That's all. We're not telling you what the announcement is.
Or when it's happening.
No, but we have one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, we are
Everyone just stay tuned for at some point.
Also, this exciting announcement was decided on last night. Not planned.
Yes.
No.
But that's actually all we can give you, so.
Yes. But what I can tell you is that I've sent Katie a voice memo about something completely unrelated. And she immediately called me. I thought she was talking about the voice memo. She was mad about something else, like just something very small, like her dinner or something. And then this big, huge announcement came out of that conversation somehow. So.
Yeah. And you guys can try to guess, and you can try to pester us all you want. And the truth of the matter is, if you pester me enough, I probably will tell you because I am weak. But that's only for the dedicated and the super fans, as we call them. Should we turn on top badges for our Facebook page and then make people comment a bunch so they can be our top fans? I was thinking about that the other day.
Is that a thing?
If you want to try to be a top fan of Check Your Aesthetic, although we've only posted 2 things on Facebook, you could go comment on them a bunch, and then you could be our top fan.
Do we have 100 people in there yet?
Let's see. Facebook group plug. We have a Facebook group, if you guys do not know. It's just a place where you guys can ask for advice, questions, make some friends. We've had a lot of super fun posts in there recently.
Yes.
We have 97 members.
Ooh.
So, okay, do you know what? The 100th member of the group, it'll probably already be.
It'll probably already,
yeah. Never mind. I was gonna say I'll give you free stuff, but
200.
I won't.
Let's shoot for the stars.
200th member of the Facebook group will get some free Katie Creative Co. swag.
Yep.
Swag.
I would say I'll give you some stuff, but I'm taking all my stuff down. So.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
No more stuff.
Another exciting thing is that we didn't talk about this Wednesday. We talked about the general changes being made in my business, but I posted my first product, which I'll show you guys sitting next to me.
Love it.
This cup. And then I'm also going to be re-releasing the old cups that I already had. Not old. I'm sorry I said that about you. It was an intimate moment. But yeah, check out my Instagram because I'm back and I'm active, and this bad boy is going to be on sale. My launch is August 19th. I've never plugged myself on the podcast.
Wow.
Anyway, my launch is August 19th, so set your calendars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So exciting. Yes.
Very.
I don't know. I don't really know if I mean, we recorded 2 days ago, so I feel like
so much has happened.
Yeah, not really much has happened since then, but I don't know. Honestly, I feel like I want to say that I just love Audrey Whalen so much.
To be completely honest, the most important thing to say in every episode is that we love Audrey Whalen so much. Audrey did, though. She sent us just the sweetest voice memo. She's just like a member of our team now, so if you would like to be a fan of us, you also have to be a fan of her. And honestly, the same goes for Madison now after this episode,
yes,
so everybody's
honestly,
on our team now.
Yeah.
So, sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I told Audrey the other day, like every single cent we make on the podcast, I'm like putting it in like the back of my pocket just to reinvest right back into Audrey. So
yes,
you just absolutely
she sent us a very nice voice message that was just so sweet. And then one of your guys' Facebook posts literally made me cry yesterday.
Yeah, we've just been really, really grateful for the community that we've been able to kind of build, but like we literally couldn't have done it without you guys because you guys are the important part of the community. But I mean, we say this, but like not enough, I don't think. Like every single comment on Instagram, Facebook group post, review, DM, post on your story of you listening, like truly they make our day. Like today somebody posted them listening, and I don't know, it just like they were like driving somewhere, and I was like thinking about how like you have on Spotify every podcast in the world. You have your favorite song. You have the playlist you made 2 weeks ago. You have Billie Eilish's new album. And she chose to play the Check Your Aesthetic podcast, and that is dope.
Yeah,
so,
and just listen to our little voices. So sweet.
Just our little voices.
Yes.
Our little voices.
Did I tell you that my friend listens to us in the car, and she's literally like a real estate agent? Like, so funny.
Oh my God, no. I love that.
Does not have anything to do with design at all, and she still listens to us
Hey girl,
in the car.
What's up?
Hey Galen.
How are you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, I just am just so grateful, and we like notice you guys. I was telling Alexis the other day, like there's certain usernames of you guys that like I notice because I see you in comments and DMs and stuff, and like sharing on your story. So we notice and we love you, and we appreciate
you. We're so
every
grateful for
single one of you.
Yes.
Yeah. And we always say at the end of the podcast, like leave a rating and review or whatever, but like we really read the reviews.
Yeah.
Like I I started posting some of them on the story, and I'm going to keep doing that. But whenever I get upset or like feel down, I go read those. So
yeah, it's so hard because like I think we've said this on the podcast and we said it to each other so many times, but like podcasting is such a different like medium where like with Instagram it's like there's like comments and there's like
just like immediate gratification there
and like it's immediately up there, and with podcasting it's like so different. So yeah, reading the reviews just reminds us that like you're actually listening, and the Facebook, and even just like following us on Instagram and commenting, liking, everything is just like we're so grateful. But anyway, we should stop gushing.
Yeah, we really should stop, and we should go ahead and get into the episode. So stick around and listen to all the amazing things that Madison had to say.
Yes. Hi, Madison. Thank you so much for coming on and being a guest.
Yeah, thanks you guys so much for having me.
Of course.
We're super, super amped.
So your account, Keeping the Creativity, is like all about virtual assisting, and of course you obviously are a virtual assistant. So how, for someone that doesn't know what that even is, how would you describe that? How did you get into it? Just everything that got you started.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, a virtual assistant is kind of like a catch-all phrase for basically a to-do list doer. I know people have so many different kind of like definitions of what they think a VA is, and that's the beauty but also the curse of a virtual assistant. Like it can be pretty much anything you want it to be, but the key is to just clearly communicate that with clients and potential clients, what exactly you do. So for me, I originally got started with VA work as a part-time gig about 6 years ago. I originally started out in public relations, realized that wasn't the industry for me. I enjoyed it in school and stuff like that, but agency life just wasn't my thing. So it's really intense. So when I got engaged, I used that as an excuse to quit and then started out on my own. And then I was doing it part-time for a little bit, but now I've been 3 years full-time. So I would say that's probably been a little bit of my trajectory, which is crazy to think about. I literally have to like look at the calendar and, pull out the calculator and do the math. So it's been really fun. And I would say the main types of clients I work with are creative entrepreneurs, website, creators, designers, photographers, everything from social media stuff to more admin, like inbox management and things like that. It's kind of, anything and everything that they need. I can either refer them to someone or, learn how to do it for them myself.
Love that. Okay, so what would a normal workday look like for you? Just of course, we ask this question to people, and anybody who's a creative in any way knows that there's just never a normal day. Right. But what would you say kind of is the outline of how you like to structure a day, a work day?
So hour by hour planning is probably one of my favorite ways to like structure my day. Each client either gets like an hour or half an hour slot in my day. So basically what I do the night before a work day is outline every single task that I have to do for all my clients. And then from there, I'm able to kind of puzzle piece my day together to accommodate those tasks. So basically my day could start as early as like 8 o'clock or as late as 2. It just kind of depends on my day and my schedule. That's the beauty of the flexibility of having your own business. But I would say more so than, not, I'll be at my desk around 9 or so and get the day going from there.
Right. So you said that you have like things that you do the night before, the day before. Is that something that you always do? And then within that, is that something that translates also to like your personal life? Like, do you have a routine for the morning or a routine for the night, since like every day seems so different?
Yeah, so I would say it's kind of twofold. So Sundays or, early Monday are my day to take a look at the week ahead. So I can realize like, okay, this is going to be a little bit lighter. This might be a good opportunity to fit in a workout. Or, oh, this is a ton of meetings. I have to remember to wash my hair and get decent looking for video calls. So that's what that looks like in terms of kind of the logistics. But yeah, the day before, like right before I wrap up my work day, I always try to spend probably about like 20 to 30 minutes doing more like admin stuff for my own business, whether it's like responding to inquiries or, just taking a look at the calendar day ahead and realizing like, oh, this is like pretty full client-wise. That workout I had planned might need to move, or, I might just have to scoot it to another day. And then that's helpful too for just kind of like at-home life, like realizing like, oh, that dinner that I want to have with a friend might have to be earlier in the week when things aren't as crazy and so on and so forth. So it's you know, you guys get it kind of doing your own thing. Like, it's a beauty and a curse because that time is so fluid.
100%.
But at the same time, you have to have those boundaries with yourself to keep that in check in terms of that work-life balance.
1,000%.
Love that. Okay, this is a question that I talked about last week's episode that I just want to ask everybody because I'm getting into habits recently.
Yeah.
But what habits would you say, if any, that you have that you do every day or like at least every week, that set you up for success, that keep you like motivated and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I would say it definitely depends on the season. Like, I think all of us, like, pre-COVID, like, I had, like, a really set routine. And so now it's, like, trying to find out the new normal. And I would say for me, the things that are, like, top priorities for me during the day are just, you know, getting myself out of my pajamas, whether it's, like, in a workout set or, like, you know, just jean shorts and a t-shirt, just actually getting dressed. I try to make my bed as much as possible in the mornings just because it looks like, even if my room's a little bit messy, sometimes a clean bed just makes it seem like it's a clean room. And then grabbing a cup of coffee, taking my dog out, that type of stuff too. But I would say the days where I'm most successful are when I get a morning workout in. And so that's been something I'm trying to like slowly get back into my daily routine.
Yep. We both are.
We both. Yeah. It's so hard though. And I think like when you are your own boss, it's like you don't have a set schedule like you said. And so like it's like, oh well, I could just not, you know, like I could just whatever.
Right.
And for me, I'm always like, well, I can just work later, but then it's like I don't want to be working at like 11
o'clock at night. Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's not the move.
Not good for
I would
anybody.
say one thing that's been helping me big time, this is so random, but with waking up earlier. So my husband gets up early for his job. So sometimes if I'm like, hey, wake me up, I have that like backup.
Yeah.
But I got a sunrise alarm clock.
Oh, I want one so bad.
Are literally a game changer for waking up early. Like sometimes I even find myself waking up before the alarm. So it has an actual alarm to like legit wake you up like the last minute that you need to get up. But I have it set where 20 minutes before I need to actually get up, it starts to increase the brightness. And I find myself waking up like maybe 5 to even 10 minutes before I'm actually supposed to wake up. So I can like scroll through TikTok, kind of do that thing that I normally do in bed before actually getting up a little bit earlier. So you gotta get one.
I need the link to yours because one of my coworkers has one and she was like, it literally connects via Bluetooth to my phone and doesn't work. So like it'll like not like sometimes turn off in the middle of the night, which is detrimental because then you might not wake up.
Yeah, might not wake up. Yeah, I need one because in Vermont, it's so dark, especially like as soon as the winter months, like it is dark all the time. And like that just, it's so easy to just like sleep in so late, especially as your own boss. But with that, how do you think, like, is that really your biggest tip for kind of staying on track? Or do you think that that's something that you struggle with as your own boss? Or what would you say is, like, maybe your top 3 tips for trying to stay productive and, like, on task while you're making your own rules?
For sure. So I would say, for me, the thing that's been really pivotal for, like, finding my productivity is like finding that time of day where I have like peak energy. Like for me, it's usually like an hour to 2 hours into me actually sitting at my desk. And so that's when I think like, while some people might want to put off that like task that they're not really excited about towards the end of the day, just go ahead and get it out of the way. I cannot tell you how many tasks I've put off and then I've just sat down and like actually flippin' done the thing and then been like, okay, that wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. Right. So I would say finding your peak productivity time. Some people, like, for example, are night owls, and like working later. Use that to your advantage. Like, just because you can do your own thing doesn't mean you have to stay like in a box. And I think the same thing for like getting out of your office, changing up your space, figuring out what works for you in terms of like getting those wheels turning. Like for me, I love to listen to like a podcast or even like a playlist, like something that's a little bit more kind of boosts my energy and boosts like my brain power to like actually get the thing done, for sure.
Right. And something also just like a little different, so it's not just like the monotony of like this is gonna be so boring, I have to do this task, it's gonna be so like painful, and then it's really not. Like it's not as painful.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and I work at a social media agency, so I have the similar experience of having like a lot of different clients. And I feel like something that's so nice is being able to like switch between like, you know, this client is a lawyer or whatever, like I'm feeling like that right now, and like kind of being able to like switch between like what you want to do, like depending on the client. But on that same vein, how many clients would you say that you have kind of at one time? And what are some of the like most common things that you do for clients? Like if somebody's like, I might want a virtual assistant, like I wonder what they would do for me. What are some things that you do commonly for your clients?
Totally. So I can have anywhere from 10 to 12 clients at a time. Basically, the way that it works is I have like a 90-day contract, so people are coming in and out depending on that timeline. I also offer day rate services that I do just on Fridays, so that fluctuates between the month too on what that looks like. But in terms of like pretty common tasks that I help out with, sticking more to like the admin stuff, there's like inbox management, like organizing files and things like that. And then it can get as creative as social media planning, content creation, graphic design. I do, with having a lot of clients in the website space, a lot of like Squarespace website final checks, making sure buttons work, making sure the SEO is up to par. And then blog writing too is part of it as well. A client provides me with the outline, I build it out, get it approved, email marketing. So with all of my clients, they're more in the online digital space. So pretty much anything under that umbrella in terms of like promotion, marketing, courses, all that stuff is pretty much in my wheelhouse for sure.
So would you say within, like, because you said it's like the online space kind of, is there like a niche? Like it looks kind of like it's like creative people, but would you say that that's true or not true? That it's mostly creatives? I would
say it depends. Like I think kind of going back to earlier with like it can be whatever you want it to be. Like there are some virtual assistants who might just do like data entry for, this type of business, like that's more product based or whatever. So I would say it definitely depends. And it's kind of one of those things, like if you're searching for XYZ type of virtual assistant, 9 times out of 10, it's out there in some form of fashion. I tell people all the time, whether they're like an OBM or a VA, that I sometimes feel like that term's not really clear on what we do because it's so random. And I think that's why people have such a difficult time understanding what a virtual assistant can do for your business. And that's totally valid. I think the part of the process that gets really clear for people who are looking to outsource is the interview process, information on their website. Because sometimes, like for me in particular, when I first got started, half the stuff that I've learned that's in my skill set now is from a client being like, hey, if I record like a screen share, like, can you do this for me? And we use our time for that. And I'm like, yeah, of course. So there are some people that are more quote unquote coachable. And then there's some people who are like, this is the only thing I do, take it or leave it, that type of thing.
Totally.
So what would you say kind of is the benefits? So obviously you would have the option of hiring a web designer, a blog, a copywriter, a social media manager, like the benefits or the difference, I guess, in the decision between hiring a virtual assistant who can kind of be more flexible and do what you need that day versus like hiring out each specific person.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say one of the things that's really like helpful for business owners to realize is like when you hire someone who's very specific to one niche, they're like the expert. They're like the go-to. And I would say with a virtual assistant, the goal of a VA is to basically be a carbon copy of yourself, like running your business. Yeah. So like you want someone who can check that email inquiry just as good as you can, if not exactly the same. So you want someone who can either accomplish it just as you would, if not better, And so I think
you can trust them to like speak out as you almost.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would say with something more specific, like a website designer, like they're really niched in that one type of thing. And so like, that like that's going to be covered. A virtual assistant, like technically I can make you a website, but like it's not going to be as good as like a full-on website designer. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I think it just depends on the level of skill set that you're really looking for versus like someone who can just get the job done for you in a way that's satisfying to your needs, like I said, if not better. So
I feel like almost like in the sense of like or the situation of a website, I feel like someone like maybe Katie or I who already kind of know how to make a website but maybe don't have enough time to do it completely ourselves, we could hire a virtual assistant to help us along with that. But then someone that has absolutely no idea what they're doing, maybe it would be better for them to hire a web designer if they really want to just like shove it to them.
Absolutely. Like. And I think that's part of the process too when it comes to virtual assistants. Like if you already have some of the puzzle pieces in play and some of the steps already moving and grooving, like a VA can come behind you and finish all the project. Whereas if you're starting from square one, a VA is not going to be that helpful in terms of like, oh, what do you need for a website, you know, versus like the checklist that you already have implemented.
Yeah. So what are the ways that you, I guess, so like you said, you're becoming like a carbon copy of the business owner. How do you like get to know somebody well enough to like be able to do that? Like kind of what's your process of like learning the, like figuring out the needs of the specific client? Because I would imagine that you know your clients pretty well if you're, you know, functioning as them, especially like in emails, I feel like is like such a, like, you know, their voice and everything. Kind of how do you get to know them? Like how does that process begin?
Yeah, so each client kind of does it a little bit differently. I would say like I have one client in particular who's like, you can tell them it's you, like serving as my assistant.
Yeah.
And there's some clients that are like, here's a template that you just copy and paste and change out their name, but you still say it's me. I'm like, okay, cool. That works great. There are some clients, like, in kind of the aspect of getting inside their head and their brand voice, that's really apparent with, like, social media stuff. I would say it's very much, like, one of those things that can be trial and error when we're first starting to work together, whereas, like, that's the time that we put in, that by the time, you know, like, a month to a month and a half in, like, it's pretty
you have
seamless
a better
in terms.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's where feedback and just, like, the client having the mindset of, like, oh, even though I've hired a virtual assistant, I'm still going to have stuff to do, is really like something they need to wrap their heads around, because there's some people that have worked with me like when I first got started who would just hire me and pay me but not give me anything, and I'm like, okay, like it's that illusion that they think like, oh, just because I've hired someone means my business is gonna like totally change, whereas I'm like, okay, there's still some stuff that you need to do to give me. So that's been something I've had to learn and educate my clients on for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it kind of seems to me, what if we were about to say the exact same thing, Alexis? We're about to literally, I was going to say, it seems to me like to hire a virtual assistant, like a good time to do that would be when you have the funds and like you're too busy to do things on your own, but maybe you don't want to like hire like a specified employee because like you don't have so much need in that one place to like hire on that person, but it like, you know, that you want to expand your team. Seems like what I'm getting the vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, it's kind of twofold. I would almost say if you're so overwhelmed and, like, need someone ASAP, it's not too, like, it's never too late to hire help. But I would say, I would encourage you, even if you're considering it, I would go ahead and get comfortable with the idea of outsourcing for your business, because it's so much easier for someone like me to come into your business when you have time to educate me on your process, gather all the materials for me, versus like someone who's like, hey, just do this and take care of it. Like, it's kind of setting us both up for failure, because I don't know how to do the thing and you just want it done so quickly that it's not going to be done right. So I would say too, like going to your point about a budget, there are still people that you can hire at a lower price range. You just have to be ready to be really attentive to train them on how to do something as you would. That's where those screen recordings, Loom videos, processes, SOPs, and everything are so important to have prepared before you bring someone in.
It seems to me like, this is what I was going to say, but it seems like the virtual assistant to like, client, to a virtual assistant client, it seems like a very like symbiotic relationship, whereas some people might think like, oh, as you said, I'm going to hire a virtual assistant, they're going to just do everything for me in the background, and then like it's just going to be done, whereas it seems like it's like a lot more back and forth, which is like an awesome thing, because I feel like that ends up giving you the opportunity to talk more authentically like them and get them to where they want to be, rather than just like, I'm going to do this like point A to point B and like, just point blank period. So what do you think the overall benefits, just like in a general sense, for a small business to get a virtual assistant is?
Yeah, so I would say, like, first and foremost, you have someone to help execute things on your behalf, whether that's that growing to-do list or just like weekly or monthly tasks that are pretty repetitive, whereas like, oh, it takes me 2 seconds to do, but like imagine what you could do with those few minutes back into your schedule. You know, half the time people are hiring me, it's because they have a bigger project that they want to work on, or they just want room to breathe. I think while those little things add up that seem so simple in nature to the business owner, by outsourcing it, you gain that time back, if not more, because, you know, I try to think of it too, like the time that you spent stressing about it as well as doing the thing, like that's the time you get back as well. So I would say that's something to definitely think about in terms of like outsourcing and what that looks like for your business. For sure.
How would someone know, like, what the right person is? Like, since it is such a symbiotic relationship, I feel like it's important to get the right person. And how would someone know who that is?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say it's kind of twofold. Like, first and foremost, like, gut feeling. I think as a virtual assistant and business owner myself, when I'm interviewing potential clients, like, it's definitely like a two-way street. Like, it's based off of my gut feeling with them and theirs.
Yep.
And I think by how long I've been doing this, like, it's pretty clear when you ask certain questions about, like, okay, do you already have a task management platform? Do you have an idea of what you need a virtual assistant to do? Some of those questions are pretty telling of what that relationship's going to look like. And sometimes it's cool, like, if they say, no, I don't have these things, or I'm not sure, based off of that vibe with them and how willing they are to act on that, then I know it's a fit for me. But in terms of the business owner to virtual assistant, I think before you even start the interview process, you need to get clear on, like, what skill sets are, like, a must-have. What platforms do you use that they have to know how to use? Like, you know, I work with a lot of clients who use Adobe Creative Suite. Like, some VAs don't know how to use that stuff, and that's, like, a deal breaker for them. So I think having those must-haves in terms of, like, skill set is a huge part of the process for a business owner. And then, of course, the cherry on top and the added bonus is, like, their personality and how it vibes
Do you like
with you.
them? Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Yes.
Because a lot of clients that I work with are solopreneurs, and half the time I do a check-in call with them, it's them either just talking about, like, general business stuff that they are struggling with, or, like, let's strategize, like, what you want to do next. So it's very communicative, and I'm, like, a member of their team, you know,
Right.
literally. And so it's part of kind of that collaborative process that makes me really enjoy what I do. But, yeah, vibes, as much as, like, woo as that sound, is so true to having a good relationship with your client, as well as, you know, the skill set that's necessary to get the job done.
It seems almost like you, like, on your page, from, like, what I saw, it almost seems like you cross over into almost, like, brand consultant area and, like, brand coach or, like, business coach area.
Yeah.
Would you say that's accurate?
For sure. I just think that's something that's kind of been something I've been tiptoeing in general, just, like, from working with people. Like, I had a call with a client yesterday who, it's so funny because as a business owner myself who works in the service industry, a lot of my clients do provide services like graphic design or social media stuff. And so I can tell when they have a relationship with a client that's maybe not serving them well anymore. So I'm like, how are you feeling about this? Like, are they paying you well enough? You know, like, I'm kind of that, like, little accountability partner in terms of, like, is this what you want to do as a business owner? Like, when you brought me on, you were super excited about this, this, and this. But based on what you're telling me, you're not having time to do that because you're dealing with this. You know what I mean? So sometimes they're able to give that to me, which is great, because that's, you know, sometimes they don't think they can even give me that task in general. Some clients are like, well, I don't want to give you that because I don't like doing it, so I know you wouldn't like doing it. I'm like, okay, first of all, you're paying me to do it, so it's fine. Second of all, I have Gossip Girl in the background. I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me. I'll get it done for you. So I think, you know, those conversations come part therapy session, part strategy, part just, you know, like, business friend. Because I think as this creative industry has been so great to meet people online, but at the same time, while we're so connected digitally, we're so lonely in this physical space sometimes.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of my clients come to me with, like, advice or questions and stuff, because we can talk to our partners and friends about this stuff all day long. Like,
They don't know.
they have no idea. Like, I'll say something to my husband and he'll be like, cool. And I'm like, no, this is great. You don't understand. Like, this is revolutionary to my business.
Yes.
And so it's just so funny how that's, you know, something that I've had to learn as an online business owner, that I don't get those coworkers in the sense of, like, going into, like, a storefront or going to my desk, you know, and just having someone I can be like, hey, like, do you want to go grab lunch during our break or whatever? So I would say having my dog here helps a lot, you know, my furry coworker. But sometimes we just miss that connection with other people when it comes to that space, and that's where sometimes I can step in my VA role.
That's amazing. I love that so much.
You're speaking our language. That's, like, literally why we started this podcast. Is, like, we felt like there was just, like, no resources, like, felt very lonely, and we get DMs all the time saying, like, we make people feel less lonely. So I love that feeling, and I'm sure that that's something that you love to be a part of your job. Okay, so what advice would you have for somebody who is listening and is like, I want to be a virtual assistant? Kind of, like, I guess more of, like, your side of the business. How did you brand yourself? How did you kind of, you know, I know it can be hard as a service provider to, obviously you have to continue to promote your service providing business while you're also, your entire job is to help other people run their businesses. So kind of what would be your advice with all of that?
It's so funny that you say that because like as a VA, I've started outsourcing a little bit myself in my business, and I'm starting to get that kind of like, ooh, this is a little bit harder than I thought it would be. And so I'm like able to relate more to my clients on that level. But I would say for anyone who's interested in becoming a virtual assistant, like first of all, like you can make it whatever you want it to be. And I think while a lot of people would recommend like super niching down like right away, like there's certainly a benefit to that, like, but for me, I had to learn along the way what my niche was. Like, you know, when I first started VA work, I worked with like a medical software company, one of those like paint your own pottery places, and like some other random thing, and I was like, okay, what the heck am I doing? But that's just because I was getting my name out there. You know, my mom was referring me to a friend at a bridal shower. Like a classmate of mine was referring me to like his business pal, you know. And so it was so random in the beginning. But through building my audience and building my brand, that's how I've been able to really discover what works for me. But to go back to your question about like, where do we start? I think one of the first things is think about the tasks that you either currently do at your day job or in your free time that you really like doing. You know, like for me, before I even started my business, Keeping the Creativity was a blog that I was just using to fill a creative void when I worked in the PR world. And so that was something I loved doing. Like I loved creating graphics, I loved writing posts, I loved coming up with social stuff. And so that was something I was able to easily turn into a service. You know, it was something I already loved and enjoyed. And then from there, it only grew. So I would say, think about the things that you really like doing just as a person, and then how can you monetize it to become a business?
I love that. I think that's just a good thing for, in general, any kind of, you know, business. And we talk about that all the time. If there's not that passion behind it, that it can just be hard to sustain. But I love that in that sense. Well, amazing. Should we get on to some random questions?
Yes.
I feel like we should.
I love it.
Well, the first random question is still kind of related to all of this. But it is, what is your favorite organizational tool? So you can go ahead and start.
So I would say something I've been loving lately is Notion. It's something I found because of TikTok, of course. Like literally everything's cool in my life. Someone's like, where'd you find that? I'm like, are you not on TikTok? Like, come on.
Yeah.
So that kind of found me, you know, through my For You page, and I just kind of like went crazy with it. It's so customizable, which is cool. Like I use it to track business expenses. I use it for my day-to-day tracker and stuff like that too. So that's something that I've been loving in terms of like personal and professional organization. You know, a lot of my clients use task management platforms like Asana and stuff, and while I still use those, Notion is like the pretty and fun creative thing that I like for myself. Like I would never tell a client like, oh, assign me something in Notion, because I'm like, no, this platform that we already have works great. This is just more for my visual and personal enjoyment for sure.
Yes, love that. Alexis, I think I know your answer.
What do you think my planner?
Yeah.
Ooh, what planner do you have?
I have, my mic is on it, but we have matching ones. It's Live Inspired, which is, she actually has been on the podcast before, the owner.
Cool.
Yeah. And she donates, what is the charity? It's the American Suicide Prevention.
Suicide Prevention.
Okay.
She
something. Yeah.
Her whole planners are like, I mean, there's a ton of obviously organization aspects to them, but her whole thing is mental health, which we're all about here, so we love her.
I love that.
When we love her so much. But no, I do love my planner, obviously, but I was going to actually say, like, Google Sheets or Excel, just because that is, that for, like, organizing stuff really just, like, helps me so much, because, like, writing down stuff on, like, a physical piece of paper obviously helps me a lot, but it's in one spot.
Yeah.
So, and then with Excel, like, numbers and stuff, like, just tracking that, it gives me so much less anxiety to just know that everything is there. So,
yeah.
I love that.
I am severely unorganized, so I probably need a virtual assistant, honestly. But, I mean, I've got stuff in notebooks. I've got stuff in other notebooks. I've got stuff in my notes app on my phone. I've got stuff in Google Drive, like Google Docs, but, like, it'll be, like, one thing per Google Doc. So I have, like, so many Google Docs that, like, aren't, I'm sure both of y'all are, like,
no, it's half this bookshelf is notebooks and planners that I've given a shot.
Yeah, I have a lot of
no
notebooks.
Judgment.
Currently, what's been working is, I don't know where it went. Well, of course, it's lost. Oh, it's on my bed. My Dream Achieve journal. It's a planner, but it also has like an expense tracker in there. It has like, we've had Hannah on the podcast too, who made that planner. Wow.
Oh, fun.
Look at us.
Just all planner podcast. I love it.
Yeah, we just love it. But it has hourly and then to-do lists as well. So it's a place that I can kind of put everything. I do struggle though with and I'm sure a lot of people listening do too, working part-time and then also running my business. I don't want to have a work to-do list that's mixed with my personal. So usually for work, I'll just use a notebook. Funnily enough, I'm actually organized at work, just not for my personal stuff. But anyway,
no, I love it.
I love my Dream Achieve, and then everything else is just a mess. I also use the reminders app on my phone like a freak.
No, that's amazing. Whatever works for you.
Anytime I'm trying to remember something.
Do you have an iPad? Random question.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an iPad Pro where you can like write on it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the Notability app?
Yes, I do.
Okay, never mind. It's something like
what is this?
So the Notability app is great because like you can take notes on your iPad, but you also have access to it on your phone or your desktop or whatever. So it's like more like
I didn't know that you could do that.
Yeah, so whereas like maybe it's something that you wrote down for work, but you're back at home, like an idea for your business at work while using your iPad, you can like open up Notability on your desktop smart. And be like, oh, this is what I was thinking with this random thought or whatever.
That's smart.
That is very smart.
I take school notes on my iPad. I got an iPad for school, and then that's the reason I started my business. And then now I use my iPad for everything. I'm an iPad freak. But I need to start. I didn't know you could access Notability on like all different.
And that might be helpful too, like for reviewing school notes and stuff too, while you have like lectures pulled up or whatever. In terms of like that dual screen situation on your computer.
I love the tips. It's like you're our virtual assistant. And you're telling us how to organize all
this. You want to know?
Love it. Okay, so the last random question is, what are your favorite nails you've ever had? You mentioned before we started recording that you've been loving sharing doing your nails recently. So what are your favorite that you've ever done?
It's so funny because, I'm like looking at my little organizer over here. I've gotten like so much stuff. Again, TikTok has influenced me and taken over my wallet. I've gotten into Gel X nails, which is like basically kind of like doing like, you've got the light and the colors and all that stuff. Some ones that I did recently was I've started doing like colored tips. I did black and white tips, like alternating.
Oh, I love that.
And then did colored like white and black stars. And so it's so funny because I'm no pro by any means, but it's just something that makes me happy because I literally have to sit with my hand under a light and just
and
sit
not
there.
do anything.
Yes. So I'll just like catch up on
TV.
Yeah, like watch Real Housewives or whatever and just have some time to myself. But hopefully down the line I'll get a little bit better. But those have been my favorite so far for sure.
I love that. I've been doing a bunch of nail art recently too. Not myself. I go get them done. But my favorite, I had these pink ones that looked similar to this, but then my ring finger and my middle finger had like little daisies on them. They were so cute.
They were very cute. Those were like my
I might get them again. I can't wait though for fall because then I can get like fall colors. I'm so excited. Oh, yes. It's going to be
fall
great.
Fall colors are the best.
Oh, I know. Alexis, what are your favorite?
This is so random, but literally when you said favorite nails, I immediately thought back to this. This was when I was in high school, but I had my aunt, like, I think it was in my like stocking or something, gave me these two tiny little nail polishes, and it was hot pink and then like bright green, and I got little like tiny little ones that are like black and white, and I made little watermelons. And
cute.
It was like I did a really good job. It took me so long though.
I love it. I want to do cherries next.
I love cherries. Yeah. Okay, I have to show y'all because I just remembered my nail art phase in middle school. I like thought that I was like gonna be like the next nail artist. Sadly, instead, they looked similar to these are my Hunger Games nails. Oh my god, no way.
Oh my gosh. No, you did that.
Oh my god.
You said in high school?
Middle school.
That's incredible.
Wait. Like, Katie had a YouTube channel.
Everything's fine.
Okay.
My roommate must have been cooking. Scared. Anyway, I had a YouTube channel. But everybody, that was my fire alarm, so just disregard. These are my apple nails.
Those are actually good.
Have to love it.
Okay,
and
you need to get
these
your
are my
nail
cheat
kit and
items.
stop paying people. You can totally do it yourself.
Yeah, Katie, you
Honestly,
definitely
though,
could.
I'd probably be good now because, I mean, if I was just a baby. I was just a
Yeah.
little baby. My old Instagram couldn't be worse. But, okay. It's going off again. That is so annoying. Anyway, good thing we are done. Madison, do you want to go ahead and plug yourself before my apartment building burns down?
Yeah, for sure. We need to get you out of there safely. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at Keeping the Creativity. On there, I share tips and tricks and all sorts of resources for business owners, whether you're wanting to become a VA yourself or looking to outsource in your business. If you are looking to become a virtual assistant, I have a course called VA Your Way. You can learn more about that on my website, which is keepingthecreativity.com.
Love that. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Be sure to leave us a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcasts and subscribe to keep up with our weekly episodes.
And then follow us on our Instagram at Check Your Aesthetic Podcast and our personal accounts, Katie Creative Co., AlexisAdams.co, and Keeping the Creativity. And we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.